What's going on? Cole Connor here. Nothing derails a photo shoot faster than a nightmare client. I am excited about this one today. If you've been in real estate photography for a while, you've probably had your fair share. In today's video, I'm going to reveal my 4 worst type of clients, how to spot the warning signs early, and avoid the clients who'll end up just wasting your time, drain your energy, and costing you money. Let's get into it. My name is Cole Connor, and I was put here to do 3 things. Create, inspire, love. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. All right, let's go through the different types. Yes, I'm gonna be a little silly, and this isn't to be mean to any one particular type of person. I'm sure we've all been this person in one way or another, but these are just the types that show up consistently. I've been doing this for 9 years. I've had probably legitimately thousands of shoots. It's pretty funny. The silliness does not make it less real. First up, we have the classic, the micromanager. Can I see the photos? Oh, I'm just curious about your process. Take these angles for sure. Yeah, I think if you get right here, that's like a really good angle. Or yeah, I usually take listing photos myself, but this is like a really nice one, so I wanted to hire someone. They don't allow you to do your job. It slows down the shoot time, so if you're booked back to back, they're messing up your whole schedule. And it's actually quite distracting. I'm gonna talk about more general ways to avoid and fix these types of problems at the end. But specifically how to fix this type of person, this is what's been helpful for me. I say something like if they want to take a look at the photos after every one or be over my shoulder in the nicest way possible. Is it possible for you to just kind of let me do my thing for a little bit, and then afterwards we can take a look and see what I missed, and then I'll reshoot those. I still hate it, but it allows me to get it done. And then fix it once it's done. If I miss something, I miss something. I don't get everyone's eyes perfectly. I don't always take every single image perfectly. But most of the time they're pleased with the angles, so you don't really even have to go back. Or they see it at the end and they're like, oh. But it's just so funny because if you don't let them see it at the end, there'll always be some stupid shot that they wanted to be shot, but you didn't shoot. And yes, technically that's my fault, but a lot of the times it just seems extra and not even like useful. Next up, we have an extension of the micromanager, the just a few edits, just a few. They send long emails or texts with potentially 10, 20 edits, 30, 40, 50 edits on just one house. They are super minute requests. Overly editing the property to where it's almost downright morally questionable whether you should be posting the photos of a house that doesn't look like what you're editing. And it's also, from my understanding, against the MLS rules to do that. By the end of it, you're making all these edits and it just barely changes the photos. It also ends up just being a lot of work. How I fix that is if I see some of this happening, I say, okay, I will make these edit requests, but there's only going to be one round of edit requests. And if it's a new client, I make sure they pay on the day of the shoot, so that way I'm not feeling like they're going to jip me if they don't get all these edit requests done exactly, immediately, or they're just going to decide they don't love the photos and not pay me for the work I've already done. Number 3, the haggler. Can you cut me a deal? Can I get a special discount? I just need a few photos. It's not a big deal. Nothing crazy. I had this one guy one time. It was hilarious. And this was after I'd been in business for a long time. I did the shoot. I am a pretty quick shooter, and I'm trying to work on, I think people can feel that I'm like usually an in and out type of person. So I can maybe come off as rushing when I'm really just there to do the job. I just want to knock it out, move on to the next one. This guy I put on the calendar because I always schedule for more than expected, like an hour and a half. It ended up only taking me like 45 minutes. After the shoot, I'm taking the last photo of the exterior, and he's like, yeah, you finished up way faster, like half as fast. You think we could get 50% off? And I'm starting to get more and more blunt, and I just looked at him and I like smiled, and I was like, no, we can't do that. But also I have to go home and I have to edit the photos, and that takes double to triple the time. So yeah, I can't give you half off for that. And he was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about the editing. That's my fault. I used to be a lot more like considering of stuff like that for some reason, but these days it's just, no, we had a deal. And this is what we like. What are you talking about? My patience is worn thin. But more to the if they ask for a discount up front person, which is still a haggler, I say something like, here's what I can do. If you want to bunch up multiple shoots together, then I could offer you some sort of small discount. Or if you want to bundle up several services, I can offer some sort of discount. Then I explain why it costs what it does, because I have had people be like, why does it cost what it does? And then you explain it, and they usually don't have any questions because you explained it. But the simple answer is, this is what my time is worth. It's really not much more complicated than that. And then for the person who just asked for maybe just a few photos, I created this package I called Just a Few. And it's like up to 15 photos. I charge a cheaper rate, and it's still profitable for me. Last but certainly not least, we have the last minute scheduler. Now, if this is a client you've worked with for a long time, you have some sort of special relationship, they know they can reach you, whatever, fine. There are new people who just hit you up and they're like, they expect same day service. There's people who expect you to have openings the next day. And sometimes it works, but especially if it's a new client, I find it kind of disrespectful ultimately. Even though I know they're just trying to do their job too, I think it's rude. And I find it disrespectful of my time. I've never really seen a really good agent who requires immediate scheduling, I don't think. It's more of like, it's planned, it's organized, and that's how I think it should be. It's less stress on everyone. Like, no one wants to be changing their schedule nonstop, I don't think. How you would fix this is let them know they are welcome to check and see if I have last minute available appointments, but usually I like to schedule multiple days or a week or so in advance. But if I have it open, I'll certainly let them know. That's a nice way to respond. I hope you can connect with some of those for specific people, and I'm sure there's more. What are some of your worst nightmare clients? I would love to hear about them. Drop me a comment and let me know. So just in general, I want to go through some things that you can avoid nightmare clients, period, really. And if you do a lot of these things, you won't have these issues come up. I'm not saying I do all these things. I do some of them, and I'm starting to develop it more because, to be honest, I have not been the best over the years, especially my first 4 or 5 years. I just was scrambling, making money, just trying to hustle. So I would take anything I can get. These days I am a lot more specific, and I would rather a certain process be followed, and that attracts a certain type of client, which I like. You want to set clear expectations from the start with clients. Some people have contracts, some people just have their guidelines that you can send out. For new clients, I do like to send out just how the house should be prepared. A lot of times you don't even have to have those conversations because people know. But it just sucks because maybe there's 1 out of 10 that it's just a nightmare because you didn't have this conversation. So up front, I would have a direct conversation about how you like things to go and what your process is. And if you want a contract, I don't personally have a contract. I do know people that also just send out like copyright information when they send invoices. You can attach it to your invoices. I probably still need to do something like that, and I haven't yet. The main thing you want to do in this initial conversation is be transparent about what the process is, the pricing, when you expect to be paid, and just kind of setting up your boundaries. It's really important for the business relationship to work out. You can also pre-screen clients. I don't think people will be doing this unless you're really busy and super booked up, but you could check out their social media just to see the type of person they are. If you feel like the vibe might be weird or whatever, always check that out there, and then ask them what they want. Like, just ask them what they're expecting, because there's so many different types of photographers, and some people, they charge $100 and deliver 100 photos, and it's in 12 hours, and it's just crazy. But some people, they take a week to edit photos, and they only deliver 10 photos. So just kind of pre-screen them, asking them all the right questions. And that kind of bounces off set clear expectations. Just have that initial conversation. Bouncing off some of the just types of nightmare clients, you just want to recognize red flags in conversation. Asking for unpaid or like trial work, you don't want to even mess with that. That's a huge red flag. If someone asks you that, you immediately probably shouldn't work unless you get paid up front. Last minute bookings, also a red flag. I already talked about that. It just shows that they're kind of disorganized. And people who are overly demanding, which kind of also bounces off the just a few edits type of person, those are red flags, and they probably speak to that person. It might not be their character, but it's just the way they run their business, and it might be a sign to stay away. In your contract, you could have some sort of clear revision policy. That's kind of like the people who ask for lots of edits and things like that. If you're really clear beforehand, you won't have issues later on. So if you send out something, you let them know, hey, you get 1 round of edits, and maybe that only includes 10, maybe it includes 20, but we're not going to go back and forth over and over again. And payment is required on the day of shoot, or once like if you use Aereo, which you can check out a link in the description, once the images are delivered, they have to pay to be able to download the images, so they can't use them without paying, which is nice. And then if they want to make extra edits, like if you're a videographer and they're asked to make 3, 4, 5 edits, you just charge. And you say, hey, after the second edit, I'm going to have to charge you a $100 fee, a $200 fee, whatever it is, whatever feels good to you. If you have these things like in some sort of policy beforehand, it's just super helpful. A lot of this stuff is also avoided pretty immediately if you require payment upfront or on the day of a shoot. For me, if I'm already paid, I'm just so much more easier to deal with because I've already done the work. I don't like to be waiting for money, and that makes the client even more nightmarish if they literally haven't paid me and they're asking all these annoying extra things for me to do. So if you require the money up front, and you feel like they're taking advantage of you, then you can make adjustments to your process in the future so it doesn't happen again. And then you let them know, hey, I'll do it for you this time because I wasn't clear about it, but in the future, this is what we need to do. Lastly, and most importantly, I think, is trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. It probably is. If you get a weird energy, if the client seems erratic, if there's some like aggressiveness you don't like. I've dealt with aggressive clients where I don't like how they talk to other people, and I'm like, hey, if you talk to me like that, it's not really going to work out. If you don't like the vibe, you don't like the vibe. You can just move on. It is okay. I know this is scary, especially for a beginner. It is okay to fire a client. Sometimes the headaches just aren't worth it. As long as you do good work and you're professional, the right clients will find their way to you, and you will know them when you see them. I hope this helps. If you haven't, check out the presets. I have courses. I have all the tools I use in the description. Please, please, please tell me if you have some other types of nightmare clients. Tell me your nightmare client stories. I know they're out there. I have many more too. It's just so... People are funny. People are funny. Anyways, my name's Cole. I'll catch you next time. Hi there. Thanks for watching. If you really liked it, maybe you'll like some of these too. While you decide, here's some music. Enjoy!